In today's video, I've selected 10 of my favorite single-player Nintendo Switch games to share with you guys. Let me know what you thought of the list in the comments and if you would remove any games or add different ones. Let's get to the list. You've got a letter to Hogwarts, but this time you're heading to the wizarding school in the 1800s. Create your character, learn spells, brew potions, and uncover an ancient mystery threatening the wizarding world. The game nails the fantasy of attending Hogwarts. Exploring the castle feels magical every time. Combat starts simple but gets more interesting as you learn new spells. The Switch version runs surprisingly well despite some visual downgrades and longer loading times. The story doesn't break new ground, but living your Hogwarts fantasy makes this journey worth taking.
Possess a willingness to forge ahead alone when you must.
Step into the boots of John Marston, an outlaw forced by the government to hunt down his former gang members. Set in 1911 as the Wild West era ends, you'll ride across stunning landscapes, engage in shootouts, and meet characters who feel like real people. The game captures that gritty Western atmosphere perfectly. The Switch port holds up well, even though it's the original game rather than the newer remake. The shooting mechanics feel a bit dated today, but the story hits hard. This game proved Rockstar could tell mature stories beyond Grand Theft Auto.
Work our way up this hill.
Gonna rip your ear off!
Marston, I got you covered. Move up to that wagon. Jesus, what?
Meet Bo, a young fox spirit exploring a stunning world inspired by Japanese mythology. This Metroidvania gradually expands as you unlock abilities like a grappling hook and dash. The hand-drawn art style pops on the Switch screen, creating environments that feel both magical and lived in. Combat starts basic but evolves into something satisfying as you progress. Some platforming sections can frustrate, but nailing difficult jumps feels rewarding. The boss fights stand out as highlights, requiring you to use everything you've learned. This game scratches that exploration itch perfectly. This action RPG puts you in ancient China as Taishi Zhao, a swordsman protecting his sister while uncovering conspiracies and battling mythological monsters. The combat blends fast-paced swordplay with a unique time-freezing mechanic that changes battles completely. The story dives deep into Chinese folklore in ways Western games rarely attempt. Performance on Switch sometimes struggles during intense fights, but the core gameplay loop remains intact. The character progression keeps things fresh throughout the journey. If you're tired of Western RPGs, this offers a refreshing change that doesn't sacrifice gameplay depth.
否则我就杀。
放你走，死的人更多，牺牲一人，换取其他人的安全，划算。
This JRPG throws conventional storytelling out the window with its multi-protagonist structure. You'll switch between wildly different characters, from a robot detective to a fantasy knight, whose stories eventually intertwine. The battle system looks simple, but hides layers of strategy that reveal themselves over time. The non-linear progression means you'll sometimes hit difficulty walls, forcing you to try different approaches. The art style blends 2D and 3D elements beautifully on Switch. This game refuses to hold your hand, which feels refreshing in today's gaming landscape.
Gotta love it. I mustn't become prideful.
Hey, quick pause here. If you're enjoying this look at some of Switch's finest games, hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Let me know in the comments which of these games you've played or are excited to try. Now, let's continue with our lineup. Samus returns in this sequel that cranks up the tension with MI robots, nearly indestructible enemies that hunt you through specific zones. The core Metroidvania loop remains. Explore, find power-ups, access new areas, repeat. Movement feels buttery smooth, making platform challenges satisfying rather than frustrating. The boss fights push your skills to the limit without feeling unfair. The story continues the Metroid saga while remaining accessible to newcomers. Mercury Steam nailed the balance between honoring the series' legacy and pushing it forward. This game proves 2D Metroid still has plenty to offer. By day, you dive into a mysterious blue hole, catching fish and avoiding dangers. By night, you run a sushi restaurant using your catches. This odd combination works brilliantly, creating a loop that keeps pulling you back in. The pixel art style pops on the Switch screen, especially in handheld mode. The story starts simple but expands into unexpected territory involving ancient civilizations and sea mysteries. New gameplay mechanics continuously appear just as things might get repetitive. The whole experience feels like comfort food. Nothing revolutionary, but satisfying in a way that keeps you playing just one more day. Six soldiers from opposing nations, bound to fight endless battles, discover they share a mysterious connection. This JRPG blends real-time combat with strategic class switching as you explore massive open environments. The story tackles heavy themes like purpose and mortality with surprising maturity. Characters grow beyond their initial stereotypes into people you genuinely care about. The music ranks among gaming's best, perfectly capturing emotional moments. Combat seems overwhelming at first, but clicks into an addictive rhythm. Despite occasional performance hiccups in handheld mode, the game delivers an epic 80+ hour journey that justifies every minute. Mika, an apprentice witch, must prove herself by delivering packages to villagers living on a mountain. Flying on your broom feels slightly unruly at first, intentionally mimicking the learning process Mika herself experiences. The colorful art style and cozy atmosphere create a game that feels like a warm hug. Each delivery introduces new challenges and characters with small stories that build into something surprisingly meaningful. The controls occasionally frustrate during precise landings, but this rarely dampens the charm. This shorter experience, about 6 to 8 hours, proves games don't need violence or complexity to create something special. Link returns to a transformed Hyrule, now featuring floating sky islands and mysterious depths beneath the surface. The game expands on Breath of the Wild's foundation, with new abilities that completely change how you approach puzzles and combat. The Ultra Hand ability lets you build vehicles, weapons, and solutions from scattered objects. The story digs deeper into Zelda lore while maintaining the series' adventure spirit. The massive world somehow avoids feeling empty, with meaningful discoveries around every corner. Despite occasional performance dips, the creative freedom offered here redefines what open-world games can be. Hey, let me know what you think about these games. Maybe you've played some and have a different take, or maybe something here caught your eye. Drop a comment, let's chat about it. See you in the next one.